My name is Molly. I am the youth services guide at Anythink Bennett branch, and I am here with Danny and Victoria to talk about the Longhopes Donkey Shelter. Danny is our resident teen. Danny's from Bennett, Colorado, and the Longhopes Donkey Shelter is also in Bennett. So I'm gonna leave it to Danny to start asking questions to Victoria so we can hear all about the shelter and all about what Victoria does.
So I have some fun questions as interviews do.
Perfect. I'm ready.
So I was wondering, like, what persuaded you to wanna take care of donkeys and do stuff like this?
So I've always liked animals since I was a little girl, and I grew up with animals, farm animals, for the most part, just horses. But when when I was older, I used to work at an office 9 to 5 all the time. And I said, I'm a huge advocate for volunteering, especially volunteering to help animals. So I need to find a place where I can do this. And I found Longhopes, and I started volunteering here every weekend. And sorry, Gladys really wants to be the center of attention today. So she's going to be in the middle of this. So I found Longhopes, and I would volunteer here every Saturday, and I fell in love with it, and I pretty much just started working here. So I love animals, and this is my passion.
That is so cool. I practically live in a zoo. 4 dogs, 3 cats, a bunny, and a rabbit. So far.
That's a good start.
So I was kind of wondering exactly what you do and what your shelter does and stuff like that, and how it's kind of different now with COVID and how you're operating.
So my job specifically is just to kind of administer the Longhopes Donkey Shelter. So I do a lot of the administrative work to hire people, and then fundraising. I manage volunteers. I also manage the medical care that we provide for these animals. And we just try to be honest, we all do a little bit of everything. So just because I'm in the office doesn't mean that I don't have to come out and muck some manure. We all do what needs to get done. And the way that has changed with the COVID is we have had to close our doors to visitors and volunteers, which it's pretty tough because we are such a small team. There's only 3 full-time employees, and then we have 2 part-time employees, and we have to take care of over 40 donkeys every day. So that is a lot of work, So it has been a little bit of a struggle, but we've been able to provide all the medical care that these guys need. So yes, I have been coming out every day to muck the stalls and everything. We just all have to pitch in a little bit extra during this time.
Sorry.
You're good.
No, I think that this is like a really cool. It's something that I've wanted to do since I was a kid, is possibly go into taking care of animals. I love being outdoors, and I really appreciate what your shelter does, and I think that it's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite donkey, a best friend?
Guys, if I say this in front of Eeyore, he's not going to talk to me for the rest of the week. So I can't really say that, but don't tell anybody. It's Kiowa. She's my favorite. She's not here, though. They're kicking her out. All these boys want these treats, so she's too nice.
Aw, she sounds like a sweetheart.
Yes.
So, what are some activities you suggest for like at home who want to go into this field and take care of donkeys or other types of animals?
So at home is a little bit tough, but I think that if you are an animal owner, is always making sure that you're doing everything at home to take care of your animal. Like for example, if you have dogs, minimal things like getting used to brushing their teeth, which is very annoying to do sometimes, but you have to do it. It's knowing that you're on top of the medical care and taking care of your animals at home. That's one thing. But once this COVID is done, I would encourage all, like everybody out there, to do some volunteering at a local animal rescue, because that's how I started. I started doing volunteering, and yes, they're gonna ask you to clean, and you may not like it much, but that's how you start, you know. And cleaning, yes, Eeyore, I'm telling them, hold on. And the cleaning part is so important too, because if you don't clean, it's pretty unrealistic, you know. Like, the cleaning is a part of the job that we have to do every day to make sure that these guys are okay, you know. So yes, petting them and giving them treats, all of that is fun. But if you really think about it, what does a nonprofit need from me? And that is, you know, you have to do the volunteer work. And some days it'll be brushing the donkeys, some days it'll be cleaning, some days it'll be mopping a room, you know. Every little thing helps these guys feel better. Excuse me, I'm talking here. Sorry. Some interruptions today.
I totally agree that the cleaning, I spend like 80% of my animal care is like brushing my dogs, or my rabbit is, I clean out her cage like every 3 days. It is exhausting, but it makes her happy, and she likes so I totally see how.
Absolutely. The cleaning part is really important, even if it's kind of yucky.
Yeah, it totally is for every animal and humans. Y'all, please shower.
Yes.
But so you guys have volunteering programs. Is there like an age limit? What is like kind of the youngest that you guys will take as a volunteer?
So that's a great question. We do have a volunteer program. My requirement is usually we want volunteers to be able to drive themselves, and that they're independent, that they can just come here and then they can leave whenever the shift is done. And the only reason we say that is because sometimes, excuse me, guys, come on. So sometimes we'll have a lot of stuff to do, but we're out here in Bennett, and you know the weather changes last minute, and sometimes it's a snowstorm, sometimes it's rain, and when we all have to be done, you know, we need our volunteers to leave after the shift is done. So we can't be waiting for anybody to get picked up or anything. Excuse me. So that's why one of the requirements is you have to be able to drive yourself.
No, that totally makes sense. It's like a very good requirement.
I am running out of treats. I don't know what's going to happen when that is over. I am sorry.
A donkey riot. It will be chaos.
I'm done.
I'm so glad you took the time to talk to us today. This sounds like a really cool organization.
Thank you.
All the donkeys are so cute.
Thank you so much. They are very cute. And thank you for saying that about our organization. I do think that is wonderful. And I'm not saying that just because I work here. I'm the type of person that started volunteering here, and I fell in love with the animals and with everything that we do so much that I said, you know what? I'm quitting my job and I'm going out to Longhopes and I'm going to work for them, you know, and that says a lot about the type of organization that this is. And it's the way that we treat the animals. It's the staff. The staff is so passionate about the work that we do. And with such a small staff, that has to be the case. You know, you can't have somebody that doesn't want to be here. We need everybody that's here 100%. And I'm very proud to say that that's the case at Longhopes.
That is one of the things that I love about usually when looking into organizations that specifically take care of animals. I've never really met somebody that's been there just cause. They've always been super passionate, and they love what they do, and even the hard stuff. And it's just making sure that the animals are taken care of and happy.
Yeah, indeed. You know, what you're saying is exactly true. The animals have to come first because we are the line of defense for them. You know, they can't speak for themselves, and we have to speak for them. So you have to love them, and you have to make sure, excuse me, don't bite me, thank you. And you have to make sure that, you know, their needs always are met, and, you know, you're doing what's best for them.
You said you had 40 donkeys, is that right?
Yeah, so we have about 40 donkeys right now, which is in the low end, we usually serve about 60 to 65 donkeys, but right now we are lower because unfortunately we are unable to have a lot of contact with a lot of organizations to bring donkeys in, but we are still working on emergency situations. So for example, yesterday I had to drive to Loma, Colorado. I didn't know where it was until yesterday. It's like 5 hours away towards Grand Junction, and we had to go pick up 2 donkeys. So we're still doing what we need to do to protect these guys, and if somebody calls us and says, I have an emergency, I need your help, absolutely, we're there. But we're not just bringing everything in, because we have to take care of our staff. If we get sick, there's nobody here to care for these guys.
How much room do you guys have for the donkeys to roam? How much is like adequate for a donkey?
Yeah, so we require at least 1 acre of fenced pasture per equine. That's for our adopters. But here at Longhopes, we have 60 acres of fenced pasture. For the most part, donkeys are inside in the corrals. So where I'm at right now is a corral. There's no access to food or anything like that. And they need it that way because their metabolism is so good that they would gain a lot of weight in, open pasture. So we do limit the pasture a lot.
Okay. That is actually pretty interesting. Donkeys will just kind of eat until.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, again, thank you so much. This was really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Danny, do you want to do some rapid fire questions before we close?
Yeah, these are very rapid fire, quick answers. What is one word you would use to describe yourself at 16 versus now?
At 16, I would describe myself as inquisitive, curious. I wanted to do it all, and I wanted to know everything about everything. And today, gosh, I don't know. Today, I would seriously describe myself as, and I don't even know if this counts, but happy. I feel like I have reached just the epitome of happiness, and I am there, and I'm, happy every single day, and that's where I'm at today.
Awesome.
That is very cool. What is your favorite song, book, or movie of like all time? Like your go-to thing?
Okay, so songs, I'm sorry, I'm gonna not answer just one. I'm gonna say any song by the Beatles because I love them and that's just me. In book, I would say Ishmael. I just finished it again and I always go back to reading that book. It's just so meaningful to me. And I can't give you a movie, man. I'm a movie person. I watch so many of them, but at least I answered the other 2.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Cannot read that well. I wrote super fast. What was your first paying job?
Oh my gosh, I was a tutor. I was a tutor in high school and I taught kids, kids, my friends, I taught them math in high school.
Nice.
Well, that is all I have. I appreciate this.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Victoria. This was awesome. And thank you to your donkeys behind you. They're wonderful guests as well.
They all left, it's empty. They don't love me anymore. They're like, bye, you're all news now.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And thank you, Danny. You are a wonderful interviewer. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate Victoria being here. And definitely check out the Longhopes Donkey Shelter online. You have a website, right, that people can go to and find out more about. I think it's longhopes.org, correct?
Mm-hmm. Perfect, yeah.
.org. And that's about it. So thank you very much for tuning in, and be well, be safe, and we'll hopefully see you back in the library soon.
Thank you so much, Molly. Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate everything and your time today. It was great. Thank you for having me.